Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something really fundamental, aren't we? Purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. That core human thing.
We've got some fascinating material to explore it. There's this piece looking at the language and history of purpose,
Right, the philosophical background.
And also a short film, which gives more of maybe a narrative, sometimes quite stark look at finding purpose, especially in a community setting.
So quite different angles.
Exactly. And our goal here isn't just to define purpose. We want to get into how the search for it has changed over time, how it shows up in our, let's face it, complicated modern lives.
And crucially, how it's different from passion. That comes up a lot.
It really does. We'll also touch on how different cultures see this need for meaning because it's not the same everywhere.
Definitely not. Okay, let's get into it.
So that big question right at the start of the source material. What am I really doing here?
It's universal, isn't it? It's not some, modern fad. It's ancient.
And the material stresses right away, this isn't a luxury?
No, not at all. It's framed as essential, key to our well-being, almost like needing food or water.
Yeah, it's about truly living, not just getting by. And I thought it was interesting how it's presented as something active.
Right. You don't just wait for it to arrive.
You discover it, you cultivate it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even have to fight for it, apparently.
It's personal, deeply personal, but there are these universal threads too.
So looking back historically, this search has always been there.
Always. The source gives a great overview, like ancient Greece with eudaimonia.
Right, flourishing, living up to your potential, kind of an internal thing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Then you shift to, say, Confucianism in ancient China.
Oh, it's outward looking, societal harmony, your role in the community.
Yeah. Purpose through contribution to the whole, less individualistic.
Then Buddhism, the goal is easing suffering.
Profoundly compassionate. And indigenous cultures, that deep connection to nature, spirit, community.
It's woven into the fabric of existence. And African Ubuntu philosophy, too.
I am because we are. Purpose found directly through connection and service to others.
It's amazing how these themes keep coming up, despite the different contexts.
Self-understanding.
Connection to something bigger.
And contributing somehow. Seems like the core ingredients, really.
So if these old traditions had these strong framework, why is it such a struggle for so many of us now?
That's the modern puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
The source material points to a few things. The weakening of those traditional sources.
Like religion, community structures, fixed social roles. They're less dominant for many.
Exactly. So you have this freedom, which is great in theory.
But maybe a bit terrifying in practice, the burden of choice.
Totally. You have to write your own script now. No one hands it to you.
And the pace of life. Constant information, distraction.
Social media, that highlight reel effect.
Oh, yeah. Everyone else looks like they've got it all figured out.
Which fuels that purpose anxiety the source meant, that feeling of falling behind.
I think a lot of people feel that. And the pressure on work, too. It has to be everything. Your calling, your passion, your meaning.
Which is a huge expectation. What if your job is just a job? Does that mean no purpose?
It raises tricky questions. But the source also says it's not all bad now.
Right. We have incredible access to knowledge, global connections.
We can mix and match traditions, philosophies, and find our own blend.
It's definitely a double-edged sword, this modern age.
Okay, but this is where it gets really fascinating for me, the science. This isn't just philosophy.
Not at all. There's actual research linking a strong sense of purpose to, tangible health benefits.
Like living longer.
Yeah, longer lifespan, better heart health, even lower risk of dementia.
Wow. And things like better sleep, stronger immune system.
Faster recovery from illness
Yeah.
is quite deeply connected to our physical selves.
So much so that lack of purpose is being talked about as a potential public health issue.
That really reframes it, doesn't it?
And the mental health side, too. More life satisfaction.
More resilience when things get tough. Lower rates of depression, anxiety, like a psychological buffer.
Does neuroscience tell us why?
It seems to activate brain reward centers, but in a more sustained way than, say, simple pleasure. It's tied to values, long-term goals.
Okay.
Plus, it seems to regulate stress, lower chronic stress hormones, less inflammation.
Which makes intuitive sense. If you feel what you're doing matters, maybe you weather the small stresses better.
Exactly. And the social piece is huge, too. We're wired for connection.
So purpose that helps others, that's especially powerful for well-being.
The research strongly suggests that, pro-social purpose has a really strong link. It taps into that need to contribute to something bigger.
Which brings us back to that recurring theme.
It really does. Purpose often points outward.
Now, one thing the source material did really well was show the variety of purpose. It's not just one thing.
No, it manifests in so many ways. Work is one, obviously. Finding alignment with your values there.
But even in ordinary jobs, right? You can find purpose in how you do the work, who you help.
Absolutely. And then there's family, relationships.
Yeah.
nurturing those connections. That's deeply purposeful for many.
Creative expression, too. Making things, writing, music, fulfilling that need to create.
Definitely. And service, social justice work, trying to make the world better.
Spiritual path, religious faith, connecting to the sacred.
And just learning, growth, curiosity,
Yeah.
mastering something new. That could be a purpose in itself.
So it's this huge, varied lens, which means finding your purpose. It's probably not a lightning bolt moment.
Rarely. The source emphasizes it's usually more gradual and unfolding.
Starting with self-awareness, really knowing yourself.
Yeah. Honest introspection. What actually energizes you? What drains you? Looking past the shoulds.
That can be hard work, peeling back the layers.
Can't. Looking back at childhood interests is suggested too. What did you love before the world told you what to value?
Before adulting kicked in, what were you naturally drawn to?
What problems did you want to solve? Who did you want to help? What just caught your attention? Those are clues.
And using your values as a compass, what really matters deep down.
And seeing those values in action. And then, crucially, experimentation.
You can't just think your way there.
Not usually. You need to try things. Volunteer, take on a project, see how it feels.
And knowing it can change. Purpose isn't fixed for life.
Definitely not. It evolves. Big life changes often trigger a rethink. New job, kids, loss.
That makes sense. It has to adapt as we adapt. And being careful not to just adopt cultural messages about what purpose looks like.
Yeah, distinguishing authentic meaning from, say, what looks good on Instagram.
So what about when it feels lost, when you're just adrift?
The source material is reassuring here. It says that's normal, part of the journey.
Life transitions can definitely throw you off course.
For sure. And mental health plays a big role. Depression, anxiety, they can really mute that feeling of purpose.
It's not that the purpose is gone, just your connection to it.
Exactly. Or burnout when something was purposeful but now just feels exhausting.
Or maybe you realize you were chasing someone else's dream. Family pressure, maybe.
That happens. And let's be real. Economic stress can make it hard to even think about purpose when you're worried about basics.
So what helps in those times?
Focusing small, maybe. Small acts of meaning. Being present with someone. A small creative act. Learning something just because.
Little sparks to keep the flame alive.
Something like that. And remembering, not knowing right now isn't failure. It's exploration.
Let's talk cultures again. The source highlights how different the approach can be, West versus East, for example.
Yeah. The West often emphasizes individualism, personal fulfillment, follow your passion.
That narrative is strong here.
Whereas Eastern cultures might focus more on your role in the group, harmony, duty.
Indigenous cultures, that relationship with nature, spirit.
Ubuntu in Africa, purpose through community. Buddhism reducing suffering.
Latin American cultures often have familismo, family, as central. And religions offer so many different frameworks.
It just shows there's no single right way. Our way is just one way. Exploring others can really broaden your perspective.
But purpose isn't always good, is it? There's a potential dark side.
Absolute crucial point the source made. When purpose becomes rigid ideology, that can lead to harm. History shows that clearly.
Conviction turning into fanaticism.
And that purpose anxiety we mentioned, that pressure itself can be damaging, making it another thing to achieve.
Or spiritual materialism, using purpose for status or ego.
Right. Or workaholism disguised as purpose, maybe avoiding other life areas.
Pursuing it without regard for your own limits or other.
That can lead to burnout or ethical problems, or using the search for purpose to avoid dealing with personal stuff.
The comparison trap, too. Their purpose looks better than mine.
Yeah. And maybe having a purpose that's just too narrow, leaving you vulnerable if things change.
So it needs wisdom, balance, humility.
Exactly. It's not about finding the perfect thing and clinging on for dear life. It's more dynamic, needs ethical grounding.
Okay, so how do we build a purposeful life, practically?
It's like tending a garden, the source suggests. Multiple sources of meaning.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right. And building that self-awareness, emotional intelligence, strong relationships are key.
Developing skills aligned with your values seems important too.
Definitely. Regular reflection, trying new things, experimentation.
Contributing beyond yourself in some way.
Taking care of your health, physical and mental. That's the foundation.
Having some structure, routines maybe, staying connected to inspiration.
All helpful. And keeping perspective, humility.
And when people do live purposefully, there are ripple effects, right?
A huge one. Within families, role model. In communities, anchors of stability. Workplaces, more engagement, creativity.
Communities can even form around a shared purpose.
Yeah. Positive economic effects, too.
Yeah.
Dedication, innovation, driving social change. It models it for the next generation.
And helping others find their purpose can be purposeful itself.
Absolutely. A virtuous cycle.
So for someone listening wanting to find their way, what are the starting steps?
Pay attention, the source says. What grabs your attention? What stirs your emotion?
Look for patterns in your past. When did you feel truly alive, engaged?
Think about your natural talents, not just job skill. What problems bother you? What makes you think someone should do something about that?
Maybe you're the someone.
Maybe. Experiment with ways to contribute. Talk to people you admire. How did they find their path?
Watch your values in action and be patient.
So patient. Recognize purpose comes in many forms. It might surprise you.
Be ready for it to change over time.
And trust the search itself. The journey has meaning.
Because it's not a destination, is it? More like a river, always flowing?
Beautifully put. That need for meaning is universal, but how we express it is unique. It's not about money or status.
The modern world throws up challenges, but also opportunities.
It requires that balance, inner work, outer act.
And purpose gives you that framework for navigating the tough stuff.
It does. It's not always about being happy, though. It's complex. Sustainable purpose usually involves well-being, but might mean facing discomfort, too.
But ultimately, your purpose, big or small, adds to the human story.
Yeah. So the advice is simple, really. Start where you are. Experiment. Trust the journey.
Now, that second source, the film, it takes a different tack, doesn't it? More allegorical.
Yeah, quite a cynical view in part. Society declining and people profiting from that decline.
We see this character with the book that predicts neighborhood decay.
And others exploiting that prediction. It really makes you think about individual choice versus these bigger systemic forces.
And the main character, even though he seems to believe this decline is inevitable based on the book.
He still feels driven to do something, to warn people, try to change it.
But people don't want to hear it at first. They dismiss him.
That resistance to uncomfortable truth, very human.
But then the Citizens Committee forms.
That's the turning point. Collective action. It suggests individual effort gains power when people join forces.
Right. And that ties back. His purpose becomes trying to prevent harm, inspiring collective action.
Even against what seems like fate in his view.
And the ending isn't neat, is it? No magic fix.
No, it emphasizes sustained community effort, moving beyond just one person trying to fix things. Shared purpose is needed for real change.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up. We've seen purposes, well, a lot of things.
Deeply personal, yet universal. Something you cultivate, not just find once.
And definitely different from passion, more stable, more enduring.
Yeah. The journey involves self-awareness, engaging with the world, sticking to your values.
What's the one takeaway that really sticks with you after all this?
For me, maybe it's the importance of recognizing those saboteurs the source material also mentioned.
Ah, right. Things like boredom, fear, perfectionism.
Distraction, comparison, burnout, all those things that can subtly undermine our connection to purpose without us even realizing it.
And the antidotes. Rekindling attention, curiosity, commitment.
Embracing imperfection, finding courage, getting rest, healing. It adds another layer to actively building that purposeful life.
That's a great point. And related to that, the whole follow your passion trap we discussed.
Yes, that confusion between intense, maybe temporary passion and the deeper, contribution-focused nature of purpose.
Passion can fade or become stressful when it's your job.
Whereas purpose, often focused outward, involving others, provides that staying power. It's often built through skill and contribution, not just found fully formed.
So focusing on interests, developing skills, contributing value that might be a more reliable path?
Often, yes. The craftsman mentality, getting good at something valuable. Passion might follow competence and purpose.
And not getting paralyzed by trying to optimize everything or find the perfect fit.
Right. Commitment to choices, adapting, focusing on values that seems.
So integrating both is possible, passion emerging from purposeful work.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
Purpose provides a resilience, values guide the way, and passion can bloom within that structure, avoiding that great confusion of mixing them up.
So my final thought for you, the listener, reflecting on those small acts of meaning in your own life. Could those quiet moments be clues, hints of a deeper purpose, maybe waiting to be nurtured? And how does that idea of community action, like in the film, connect? Could your purpose find its fullest expression alongside it?
Lots to think about there. The journey continues.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into purpose. Until next time, keep exploring.